How you doing, gardeners? Ed Schneider with Fresh Picked Acres of Kansas.
And I'm Scott Thompson from Thompson's Homegrown Produce in McLouth, Kansas.
All right, folks. So I'm up here at Scott's farm, and I happen to be dropping something off, and this is the first time I've seen some of Scott's work. He's done an awfully lot of work here. Now, you're a homegrown boy here in McLouth, aren't you?
Yeah, pretty much.
So pretty much, or in the area anyway, in the area your own way. So anyway, he's got a lot of family in the area. It's truly a family farm. Dilly and I are imports, but Scott's a true Kansan deep all the way through. So Scott, you did something different this year. And what's this? What is this over here? What kind of tomatoes, and what's different about these tomatoes there?
They're big beefs, and I grafted them.
You grafted them?
I've ever grafted tomatoes.
What have you noticed about these guys, comparing it to a normal big beef without it being grafted? What are you seeing?
They've really taken off. Foliage really nice and thick.
More robust?
Yeah, more robust. Compared to another tomato plant, they like doubled.
They're just skyscraping over the top of them.
When I first potted them up, the tomatoes that I hadn't grafted and put there, they were taking off, but in 3 weeks these things passed them.
I've experienced the similar type of a thing with ours. It's amazing. You let them get their vascular system repaired and watch out, right? I mean, that's kind of what it is. So anyway, these are big beef. Let's go ahead and go. These are grafted.
Yeah.
Now, what is this bunch up here?
So them there are Primo Reds with some Carolina Golds.
Are they grafted or
they are not grafted?
They're not grafted. Okay. Now, tell me the timeline. How much younger are those? Are they the same age or?
These plants here are running about 5 weeks.
5 weeks younger.
5-6 weeks younger.
Okay, so they're like a second planting.
Yes.
And that's giving you, and that's a second planting, and they're not grafted. I mean, nothing wrong with them plants at all. And then over here we have another batch. Now tell us about what you got going here.
These are Primo Reds too. Now the first 6 here are not grafted tomato plants.
Okay, so we can go and count on down 6 here. 3, 4, 5, 6. All right.
And so
then we get into
everything down. We got Primo Reds again, but they're grafted.
Okay.
And they were actually started same time as the big beef. I don't know.
So these Primos are determinants?
Yeah, they're determinants.
Those are determinants there. So I've seen you grow. I tell you, folks, Scott and I, we're together a little bit at one of the farmers markets, and I'm telling you, he has beautiful fruit. I've seen the Primos that way. I haven't personally grown them. So anyway, but right here you got Primos right here, and these are grafted.
Yes.
And then and are those grafted further down?
Yes, and them are grafted ones further down, and they were started basically about the same time as these over here. Now,
okay.
I don't know, about a quarter of them are grafted over there.
Yep.
On the end.
Yep. Are those there? Now, the Carolina Golds, are those indeterminates?
Yeah, they're.
So you'll be using.
No, I'm sorry, they're determinants.
They're determinants too. So you'll be doing the basket weave on them as well.
Yeah.
When you get into that or something like that. I've only seen photos of it. You're a really big. Scott is not certified organic, but but you operate organically, right? I mean, you just don't have the certification. But
I don't have a certification.
You're doing manure teas and all of the above on that.
Yes, and I'm using all your blood meals, bone meals, feather meals.
Right, and and so here you're getting this compost that you pick up in Lawrence at the Lawrence facility. Am I right?
Yes.
We call it black gold.
Yeah, black gold.
And then you also are getting some wood chips in the aisleways. Do you like that idea still, or?
I do in places. I'm going to do away with it in here because I want to put white plastic down.
Okay. Something to try.
Experimenting, yeah.
You're something to try. You don't have yeah. I know. Me and Scott and I talked about this, but we don't. right now he doesn't have anything that he wants to talk about other than he wants to try it. Am I right?
Yeah.
We all have those every year. We want to try something a little different, and this happens to be one of them.
Yeah,
so.
and the best thing you can do when you're trying things is when you're watching all these other farms, you need to kind of pick what you like, what they're doing. Don't do everything that they're doing, because what works for Ed might not work for me. And I've experienced that a lot with things.
He's experienced to not do my mistakes as well. But no, you're exactly right. That and the same, like I said, a lot of these folks are going to be, you might be looking at a person in California, or in Minnesota or Raleigh, North Carolina. You just don't know. Yeah. And so what you got to keep your wits about you to take small steps. But when you agree, it's probably best to go ahead and continue doing what you do best and make small changes on one part of the facility versus, hey, I'm going all out this year. And
I'm going all out. Yeah, that's exactly right. Yeah.
Well, folks, we're up here at Scott's very first high tunnel. This is your overwinter high tunnel, ain't it? I mean, this is beautiful in here. How long is this one?
It's 90 feet.
90 feet. And in this case, you built this one using the Schedule
40.
Schedule 40, but gray pipe.
Yeah.
Rigid PVC.
Yeah, it's electrical conduit. And at the time, it was a whole lot cheaper than what it is now.
And it was like 30, what did you do, go about every 30 inches?
It was every 3 feet, I think.
Or 3 foot, yeah. It looks pretty close. So, and then you went and got your bracing in there. Now you elected to go ahead and put white plastic on here. Would you recommend that again, or is that a one and done?
It was an accident, and I'll do it again.
You'll do it again. Okay,
yeah.
That's all right. Sometimes that's what happens. I mean, they're pleasant circumstances, you know.
Yeah, the sun, that you're not getting the full effect of the sun.
Right.
It's protecting it at the same time, but at the same time, the white plastic really brightens it up in here.
Okay, but gives you some UV protection. Is that it, or?
Yeah, I think so. And my tomatoes did wonderful in here.
Yeah.
Everything that I grow in here's done wonderful in here.
And so now it's become your winter and cold crops.
Yes.
And you're going to put bell peppers in here.
Yeah, I'll put bell peppers in here, and I'm going to put some. I'll put some determinants in here, tomatoes.
So when did you sow the spinach? You've obviously been picking on a lot of that spinach, but when did you sow the spinach?
I put the spinach in last
September. September in there, and now
and lettuce. That lettuce went in the 1st of October.
This lettuce over here to the right.
Yeah, and then there's carrots down there. They went in the same time as the spinach.
And these radishes are new?
Yeah, radishes, I
want to go down here and take a look at this. I'm always envious of Scott's beautiful carrots. You get these rainbow carrots and stuff like that, don't you?
Yeah, that's my grandson's favorite thing. He's out here yesterday eating away.
He just pulls them up, and while Grandpa works. So now this is your row cover here, ain't it?
My row cover. That's Ag 30.
Ag 30.
Yeah, it's good stuff.
You know that mare's tail is a son of a gun, and that's what this is, folks. This is mare's tail, and it's affecting all of us here in Kansas, but it pulls easy, so that's good.
These carrots ought to pull.
Oh my goodness! Look at that.
Yeah.
Now, did you put a lot of compost down in this spot?
Yeah, I put a lot of compost in here. I put some bone meal and a little bit of wood ash in.
So you like the wood ash and there along with it?
Yeah, well, every time
This is one of them. I'm going to try it and see what happens.
Every time I plant something, I always Google what's best for carrots, what's best for loose leaf lettuce, and a little bone meal and a little potassium is good for.
All right. Yeah, no, this is one. Man, you got a lot of radishes. How many are you going to sell at one time?
Oh, I don't know. I usually take 10 or 12 bundles. Of course, doing McLeod.
Okay.
Too. I'm trying to make sure I got plenty
Right.
for both places.
So are you currently selling up in McLouth right now?
No, I kind of set myself back somehow this year. So, but I got the loose leaf lettuce will be coming on. I got spinach going in on the.
I see you got your onions. These are green onions.
Got green onions there. Some more
nice
green onions down there.
Oh yeah, nice bunch of onions. When he said he's set himself back, he's got high. Let me tell you, he's got high. He's way up here compared to me and Delia, but he's done a really good job. But no, yeah, you could start cutting on this if you had to.
Yeah.
I understand you want to let it go, and you still got your spinach, and you're getting carrots. The carrots definitely got time.
Yeah.
I mean, on doing that. So you're right now. You're setting yourself up, and you're doing the Saturdays in McLouth, and then you also do Tonganoxie Farmers Market on Thursdays.
Yep.
Any other thing besides your daughter sells a little bit, don't she?
Just selling to people come to the farm.
So you got folks come to the farm.
Yeah.
You know, and how big is this shed again, Scott? I don't remember.
It's 90 by 13.
90 by 13, and the other one on top of the hill, the big house is.
It's 96 by 20.
96 by 20, and you got another one that you're getting ready
it's
to.
Sitting out there. It's a 30 by.
A 30 by 90? That'd be nice. Well, you can see, folks, that, this is the beginning of where Scott began, and then he's continued to add on just a little bit at a time. I mean, that's kind of what I really think for a lot of folks who have ambitions going to the next level. Unless you're just loaded with a lot of money, there's nothing wrong with just trying something out, learning what works, what don't work, and then if you fail, well, it's easier to recover when you ain't got much invested in it. Ain't that right,
That's
Scott?
Right. And when I built this was pre-COVID.
Pre-COVID, so the economy was a little different, and all
this stuff was cheap compared to what it is now.
Right.
And even the wood. So
and you've actually found a person that high tunnel was not brand new. You actually found a pretty good deal. We don't need to talk about price, but you found a good deal. You and your family went and dug it up out of the ground and took the poles down and brought it home, and that's what you did on the next greenhouse as well.
Yeah.
I travel all across the United States for a different purpose, but the one thing I'm going to say is I could in my drive in this one particular state, I could fill a 100-acre field just off of the amount of greenhouses that have plastic ripped on them that they've ignored. Trees are growing up in them and that type of thing. I do believe there are opportunities out there that people can, if you're willing to knock on a door and say, what would you take for such and such if I removed it off the property, you might get a pretty good deal, eh?
Oh yeah. There's a lot of them opportunities around. I know where one is right now, right down the road.
And so you're circling it?
No.
Are you the buzzard circling that old owner?
I think when I get the other big one put up, I think I'll be done.
You'll be good for now. You're never done in farming, but I understand. He'll feel better by having his other one up. So
the carrots here,
all the way down.
Yeah.
Boy, look at this bed. This is, oh my goodness, Scott, this is beautiful. How many years have you had this bed going? Because this was beets last year, right?
Yeah, so these 3 beds have been here for, as long as that's been here.
So this is like the home place garden right here.
This is like the home place garden. I just added these beds because I needed to move my onions. I didn't want to put them in the same dirt again.
Yeah.
And then these onions here, these big boys.
Yeah.
I actually started them last winter.
So did you plant them individually you plant the seed right there where
I started them in the
So you
greenhouse.
started them in the greenhouse in what, September?
Yeah, it was late August, I think, when I started the seed.
And then you brought them out when?
Yeah, when they were about that tall.
So
Stuck them in the ground.
We're talking September now?
Yeah, they were out in September.
And then they were about this size.
Yeah, they were a little smaller than
Okay.
that, and these carrots were put in at the same time.
So you physically seeded them here, though.
And then what I did was I put double row cover
okay.
over these whole
Oh,
because
like that row cover we just saw in the other
that
house.
Ag 30.
The Ag 30, double Ag 30, so you're at Ag 60.
Yeah, that's right, Ag 60. And, I got some more onions over here.
Okay.
These are red onions I started from seed.
Those are red candy, or these are different red?
No, they're a different red. They're actually, I can't pronounce the word.
Oh,
I got them from Johnny's seed.
Okay, all right,
And then I put some cabbage in here,
and this cabbage, is this a new transplant? How long they been here?
they've been in the ground about a week.
Well, I tell you what, the wind has snapped ours.
Oh,
I mean,
yeah.
Folks, we've had 30-mile-an-hour winds, and Scott's got he's in a lower spot in this particular zone, and this is actually an outstanding shelter here as a wind block. Plus, we have trees as a wind block, so
Yeah, so I got a little bit of
a little protection here. There's some advantage now in the summertime. Where does the shade hit here, or does it?
it's right here.
So this is south now, or that's the south. This
west,
is,
yeah.
or that's west. So south being right over here.
Yeah, so it'll drop in behind the big tree right there, and it'll give me
Gotcha.
about half shade on this.
So these guys get a little break from the
Yeah.
afternoon sun around 5 o'clock.
And I think if a person can use some shade to their advantage, they need to take advantage of it.
Well, definitely on some of our 90 and 100 degree heat, at least get some of the scalding stuff. And you have something there that doesn't like a lot of, I mean, it would love it in Minnesota, full sun, but here's a little different story, isn't it? Growing cabbage. So you started these, so Thompson Produce is going to kick me and Delia again with having onions way ahead of everybody else there.
And lots of weeds.
Well, we all got them. Is this rhubarb?
No.
No, that ain't rhubarb.
That's that, I call it wild rhubarb, and it's popping up everywhere.
Yeah, okay. And what else you got down here, Scott?
Well, I got an open spot here, and I'm going to find something to put in here.
Okay,
I can't
so this
stand
is
an unfinished bed.
That's one more. Yeah, well, you got to have those. You got to have the next phase. I think this is, another thing about Scott is the way he's got it is we all know water wants to really run off of a high tunnel and that type of thing, but he actually has it. If you could, I know depth perception is kind of hard here, but I will say that these beds are slightly raised up, allowing water to run between the rows, and it runs two ways, really. It can run this way, from right to left. It can also run straight down the hill at us, but it kind of keeps these beds intact on a good carrot.
What's up, Doc?
Scott, I see you got a lot. We got potatoes over here. We have your old chicken coop, you said there, and then you got more onions.
Yeah, I got more onions here. This was tomatoes last year.
Okay, so rotating them a little bit.
Yeah, I'm trying to start a rotation program.
All right, and you got a beautiful. This is absolutely top drawer up here.
Yeah,
Look at this.
it's better.
No, it's a nice and so this is your row cover here to the left, right?
So actually, that is my my 40 by 100 black tarp, and I had this bed covered all winter long.
So this is the silage tarp.
Yeah, it's a silage.
Silage tarp. So you kept it covered to get the weeds down.
Yeah, so yep, that's exactly what I did.
And what we got here?
That's spinach. I just started putting it in.
You're
today.
transplanting spinach.
Yeah, I transplanted all this.
Okay.
Cauliflower, broccoli.
I really like that gritter.
Yeah.
That looks pretty nice.
I do too. And I bought me a.
You bought you a packer.
Yeah, and I put too much water in it. That thing was hard for an old man to drag around.
So all right. So now we got. Is this broccoli?
Yeah, it's broccoli.
Broccoli and cauliflower.
Yeah, and as you can see, I got to work on my
Hoops.
drainage.
Or drainage.
On the hoop. The wind did that. Picked that big tarp up and slid the sandbags and threw them right on top of that.
Oh wow, it's a wind, ain't it?
Yeah.
50 miles an hour will do something on a gust.
Oh yeah, and it was horrible up here.
You know something that Delia and I did, and I for whatever it's worth, and there ain't much you can do if rain comes down, like right here. it's jumping over and it's cutting. Yeah, that happens. But Dilly and I actually went in there and we hoed up these little terraces just to slow and it seemed to help a little bit, because it's one thing for 10 foot to run, it's another thing when it's 80 foot to run, you know. But the whole thing. So you got your stakes to separate it.
Yeah. So
yeah.
So down here, when I put all this together, the water run through one corner of my new asparagus bed.
That's the asparagus bed, and you had a bulldozer in here, right?
Yeah, and he come in and cleaned all these trees out in here and opened it up for me.
That's nice. You know, that's what used to be a beautiful scene is now. No. But what used to be peaceful? Yeah, you've added work to yourself, but you've actually opened up your ground to where it's more productive than it ever has been.
Yeah, and so I'm gonna go down there and I'm gonna take my plow and I'm gonna go every 30 foot and put some furrows in to help divert the water.
Kind of terrace it. I mean, just terrace it, ditch it up.
Yeah.
This is nice.
So anyhow,
this is nice. Look at that garlic.
So this is my pride and joy.
Boy.
And the lettuce looks a little better today.
Well, that wind. There's nothing you could. You know, it's going to take some time. Scott, I tell you what, it embarrasses me to come here for my own farm. So this is wonderful. So what was you put in a lot of fish meal, or what did you do with this garlic? Because here we are, April the 19th. What did you do that made this here pop so well?
So bone meal and fish meal. I even done some feather meal. Feather meal doesn't like to run through our
your vegetable. Your fertilized cedar. Yeah. Your spreader.
It plugs it up. You got to mix it with something else. But yeah, I need to do it again. But if you're using fish meal or bone meal, you need to make sure you get it down in the soil, because the critters will find it and dig you.
I got you. Okay, word of the wise. Word of the wise. I see your
got
rhubarb there. Yeah. Now this looks like my. This looks like my garlic is what it looks like.
So what I decided with this is when farmers market season opens up, I'm gonna go around and I'm gonna dig these clumps up and I'm gonna sell fresh garlic like that.
There you go.
In the meantime, I had this bed here and I wanted to do something with it. So if you look,
you do. You
got beets going in there.
You do got beets in it. Look at that.
Yeah.
This is double cropping right before our eyes.
Right before our eyes.
Right, double crop. That is nice.
And then over here in the rhubarb, I do have some garlic that's gonna make pretty good.
Oh no, they're gonna do all right.
I thought I had this cleaned out, but
what happened is it looks like ours in the sense that these are missed cloves. So now you're gonna have a bunch of little, and that's what ours is. It got so hot last year, and the weeds got bad. And what Delia and I did, we were digging some of our garlic up. What happens? All of a sudden you started pulling, and the tops came off.
Yeah.
And before you know it, you got a mess, and you're like, well, there goes my whole crop. Well, now you still got them.
Yeah.
They're still growing. They're not going to be as pretty a heads as those are.
Yeah.
And
I'm gonna have to buy a bunch of seed garlic this year, because last year when I pulled my garlic out, it was wet. It was at the time of harvest around here. It was really wet.
Oh, gotcha.
And I ruined a lot of garlic.
Well, that happens. I mean, that's part of the farming experience. I mean, you know, and like I said, he's basically saying he's going to have to restart, but that happens to everybody. You're going to have some wins, and you're going to have some where like, well, in order for me to survive and double my production, I gotta buy some. What do you got going on the last two rows there, Scott?
Them are carrot beds.
Those are carrot beds. Now you're using what kind of a cedar? One of those little earthway cedars?
Yeah, it's an earthway cedar.
And which setting you got it on? Which little plate do you use?
I'm using the small.
The small, whatever. Now, the small.
If I'm using pelleted seed, then I go up. I go up one, because when I when I started it and I started using pelleted seed, I didn't realize it didn't go through the one.
It didn't go through, right? You had to go. You had to go up one more.
Yeah.
Well, this you could see, folks. He's getting a really nice stand here, and you just go down each. I see you're going like 1.
Yeah, I think there's 6 rows.
2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I think he's going 7 or 8, but we'll believe him on 6. And over here you got more beets.
Yeah, I got more beets over
I'm
there.
surprised the deer ain't getting you up here.
Nah, they will.
They will. Yeah. Well, this is nice. Well, we're going to keep going here, folks.
Yeah.
You have a lot of compost. How often are you replacing compost, adding compost? You're getting the wood chips from the same company that's giving you the compost. But how often? I mean, these are beautiful. How often are you changing this or adding to it?
Well, when I started doing it, every time I cleaned a bed out, I
put another 3 inches
more buckets on,
or just 5-gallon, like on this bed. I don't know, what are we, about a 50-foot row in here, ballparkish?
It's 65.
65, okay. I never missed a chicken by more than 4 pounds, but that's about it. So you're about 65 feet. How many 5-gallon buckets did you put on it each time?
Oh, God. I don't know, probably 12 or 15.
Okay, so you're
initially I'm putting like 3 inches on
gotcha,
the beds when
gotcha.
I build them.
And you did that every time you flipped the bed.
Yeah.
So it's probably twice a year.
Yeah. So now I'm kind of basically up here with these. I'll be doing more with them beds over there because I just started them raised beds.
These kind of get to sit for a year now that you kind of got them up to snuff per se. And
yeah. So we come in here in January or February.
Okay.
Put compost down. Put more wood chips in.
Yeah.
And I'll do the same thing again in the
How much tillage do you have to do up here? Not where the rhubarb is, but
I don't till it at all.
So all you're going to do is run that little the weed machine. You know what I mean? That little weed rake.
I got run the weed hoe and
the weed hoe.
And then I broke this ground up with my homemade rod fork down.
So you need a broad fork.
Yeah.
So you step on it and get it aeration.
Yeah, on this ground, I mean, you're walking on the wood chips. It's really
it's soft. I tell you, folks, it's like I'm walking on a cloud here. It's amazing. That's why I wanted to talk about it. He's really got a lot in it. I mean, and this stuff breaks down each year and it's still soft. So you've really built it up.
So, when I build the beds, when I'm building the beds, I'll put a bunch of compost down in the bed, and then I go ahead and I'll till the first bunch.
So you're getting that tilled in with the topsoil.
Yeah,
topsoil. You got to have the topsoil in there.
Yeah.
Regardless of what some folks want to believe, you got to have soil.
Yeah, you got to have soil, and you can put down 3 inches of this stuff, and you can plant into it.
Yep.
And it's going to take off, but you're going to have to water it every day.
Yeah.
Because if you don't, you got to water it every day because.
Well, the roots are going to look for the roots. The roots have to look for the soil, and then the compost breaks down over time, offering fertilizer in the long term and stuff. So you get the benefit. Now you also put in some horse manure and straw.
Yeah, I use a lot of horse manure. This year in here, before I put the wood chips down, we had so many oak leaves up here.
Yeah.
I just raked the beds. I raked everything right into the rows, and then I just covered them up with a little bit of wood chips to hold them down.
Okay,
so
all right.
That stuff rotting.
So you got some heat going on in there too. So yeah. Well, let's go on and keep going here with the tour here.
The beets in the 128 trays.
Okay.
Plugged trays.
Okay.
And I did 6 trays for a 65-foot row, and I probably could have done 4.5 trays because I put another tray in over there.
Up there, okay. But what Scott and what got us going is he's going with 3 rows. I mean, for me and Delia, a lot of times we're looking at. You're putting 4 rows in and really pushing it. But I like this. This looks Is you did it because that's all you had to do?
Well, I kind of did it this way because I'm planning on using my wire hose.
Okay. So you can go in the row there.
6 inches apart, and so I can use that wire hose.
Now, do you have drip irrigation under it, or?
No, I don't. I bought wobblers, and I'm gonna.
So you're gonna go overhead here.
Use overhead on these.
Going over, Scott. That's new to you, right?
Yeah, real new. I was so new that I had to call a guy and ask him because I didn't know.
Yeah.
What I needed to make it work.
Hey, folks, if you see the video and you got wobblers, how many feet do they go? I mean, that's a question. I guess it depends on your water pressure and that type of thing. You going with what, 1 inch lines or 3/4? Or
it'd be 1 inch to probably 5/8.
So a 5/8 inch garden hose, and then you're coming up a hill, so your pressure's going to drop right there. And
yeah, that guy had it all figured out when I was talking to him.
Yeah.
And, Irrigation King, that's who.
Oh, you talked to Irrigation King. Now, so what's the magic here? What do you know? So you got a 1/2 inch pipe coming up, I guess.
Yeah, a 1/2 inch pipe coming.
How far? How many in this 66-foot row?
He said 2 would actually cover this bed.
Okay.
And of course they're color coded. The wobblers are color coded.
Okay.
So each one throws a
different amount, a different distance.
And this bed is 33 feet
wide. Okay.
And so,
folks, I see a greenhouse up here one day. I'm telling you, don't let him fool you that he's done. He's going to have a 40-foot by 66-foot row. Actually, he'll knock that fence down and get it up to 90. Oh, well. Yeah, no, that's good. All right, all right. Very interesting. We'll keep going here.
I got some black plastic down to kill all the weeds and the seed underneath this.
Okay.
And I plan on making this my cucumber bed and my basil bed.
Okay.
I'm going to put cucumbers out in the middle and run basil across the front of it.
And they'll keep pretty honest that way?
Well, we're going to find out.
There you go. There's one other place I want to show. Okay, so where I'm at now is the last place I wanted to show you in here. And this Scott plant, this is your seeding area, right?
Yeah, so we're seeding here and popping up.
Hey, look at the little one right there.
Yeah, dogs everywhere.
So you
some more spinach.
Got spinach and got some
kale. And more kale outside.
And then what you did here, I don't know, how long is this?
This is 20 by 13. This is 20 by 13. The White House is 16.
Okay. No, that's all right. You got a lot of houses. You got some stuff coming up here.
Yeah, I got a lot of stuff coming up.
No, and then what you did is you came in here and you actually put what kind of a heater they call this? A ventless heater.
Yeah.
And you tied this in with your propane of your house.
Yep.
So,
into the house
and then you run electricity here, and this works in unison, right? I mean.
Oh yeah, yeah.
How warm can you keep this on a? What's the worst night?
Well, I'm not sure what my worst night was, but we were in the teens.
Okay.
And I had tomatoes out here in February.
Okay.
And I had it set like 65.
Okay.
And it was nice and coming nice.
So you set it right up here, on the top.
Yeah, so I can put it on my number 2 setting there.
Yeah, and that'll shut it off and keep it around 65.
And I bought the fan to put in this, but
right.
I don't recommend getting the fan because the little fan that goes with this doesn't blow that well. That's why I got this fan up here.
You're 4 foot away and you don't feel the fan anymore.
Yeah.
But you just put on the Lasco.
You put that old phone.
Hello, young man. He wants Grandpa here. Folks, we're going to wrap it up here. I really appreciate having you along. I wanted everyone to meet Scott Thompson. You got any words of wisdom for the audience there, Scott?
Keep playing in the dirt.
There you go. That's a motto by itself. Keep playing in the dirt. Glad to have you along, folks. Hey, if you like these types of videos, do me a favor. Hit that like button and subscribe. It sure means the world to me. And come grow with us.